two answers also. I will be keeping one question for about 20 seconds. So here comes the first question. Anaphylaxis can be a reaction to seafood, egg, protein, antibiotics, penicillin sulfa, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug like diclofenac, insect bites, latex, rubber, radio contrast material,
जी यार
chlorhexidine, tinidazole, or all of above. This, yes, Harish, anything? Arun, just check what Harish wants. The second question is, sometimes it is difficult to diagnose the skin changes in a patient with anaphylaxis since there is no consistent clinical picture. What proportion of patients with anaphylaxis have skin or mucosal changes? 20%, 40%, 60%, and 80%. 20, 40, 60, 80%. Question 3 is a case. It may be, I'll take some time to read it very clearly to you. It is a 65-year-old man who has an episode of pharyngeal angioedema and breathlessness. He is a case of hypertension. Screen is visible? Screen is not visible. Arun, what? Wait for a minute. Okay, this is the question 3. A patient who is suffering from hypertension, hypothyroidism, he is on chlorthalidone, a diuretic, lisinopril, an ACE inhibitor, and levothyroxine in addition to vitamin B12. He is taking these medicines for more than a year. Which of these medications is the most likely cause of his angioedema? A is none, as these are all established treatments. This can be an unidentified allergic reaction. C is lisinopril, D is diuretic chlorthalidone, E is thyroid, and F is vitamin B12. This is about question 3. Question 4 is a 65-year-old male with multiple risk factors. He came to you because he is unable to pass urine and is in great discomfort. He has got a distended tender bladder. You diagnose acute urinary retention and insert a urinary catheter. As usual, when you are preparing a procedure, you are using chlorhexidine. Within a few minutes, the P becomes acutely breathless with marked facial and tongue edema, widespread articular rash. He tells you that he has eaten a prawn, eggs, cheese as mayonnaise, colorful sandwich 3 hours back, and he is on aspirin and ramipril. Now the option is, which is the most important risk factor? Aspirin allergy, shellfish allergy, egg cheese allergy, vasovagal reaction, chlorhexidine allergy, ACE inhibitor allergy, or latex allergy. This is about question 4. This is question number 5. What is the exact dose of adrenaline to be given to a patient in case of anaphylaxis? A is 0.5 ml intramuscular, 1 in 1000 adrenaline. B is 0.5 subcutaneous. C is 0.5 intravenous. D is 0.5 ml intravenous, but 10 times more diluted, 1 into 10,000, typically called as the cardiac adrenaline used for cardiac arrest. The E option is 1 ml of subcutaneous, 1 into 10,000 diluted adrenaline. 0.5 IM, 0.5 SC, 0.5 IV, 0.5 intravenous, double 10 time diluted. This is question 5, and there is a clue in this slide, in this picture, when you should use and when you should not use. What are the true things which are true about the drug adrenaline? Vasoconstrictor, bronchodilator, reduces mast cell degradation, increases blood pressure, causes palpitations. It is a drug of choice for anaphylaxis. It has got a short expiry date. Or the last alternative, H, is All of the above are true for in case of adrenaline. 6 points to remember while injecting adrenaline. You should have a needle size which is slightly bigger size. Don't take 24, 25 or 26 number needle. The length should be bigger, 25 to 38. Long large needle for OBs, use 20 number needle. Check the color of injection. Keep the second ampule ready as standby and insert on the outer middle thigh vastus lateralis. Last option is G option is all of above the things are true as far as you are using adrenaline. 8th number question is when to give second dose. Except.
Switch off whatever you're watching.
Why?
Go to phone.
My work going on.
And just call on person Dali sir.
You call from mama.
I have switched off your phone.
नहीं वीडियो
जाओ
तो
तुम
कर
कल।
दो एक में
If fails to improve, you can give the dose. It will not cause harm, but the patient will improve. And last, wait for 30 minutes. You have to select one which you are not going to adhere to it. A, 5 minutes. B, C, D, E is improvement. And F, you are suggesting that we will wait for 30 minutes to give the second dose. There is a clue in this slide. Question number 9 is a patient on beta blocker. He has developed anaphylaxis. The patient tells that he is on beta blocker. He is not taking any other medication. There are no documented drug allergies. So what is the dose of adrenaline you will like to give? A, twice the normal, half the normal, quarter, or the normal dose. A, twice, half, quarter, and normal dose. D. Question number 10 is again a small case. A 40-year-old man has episode of anaphylaxis. After initial treatment, his blood pressure becomes normal, but his tongue remains swollen. He has got difficulty in talking. You decide to start corticosteroids and antihistaminics. Now, out of this, which is the best combination? A, oral cortisone and oral chlorpheniramine. Patient is conscious, moving around, he can take tablets. Intramuscular hydrocortisone and intramuscular chlorpheniramine. Intramuscular methylprednisolone and oral chlorpheniramine. Oral prednisolone and intramuscular CPM. E choice is oral hydrocortisone and intramuscular CPM. The clinical situation is the patient is moving around, he can take tablets. And the next question is a 27-year-old man with anaphylaxis. Half an hour after initial treatment, you have treated him very well. He feels much better and wants to go home. What is going to be your advice? He may require a second dose. Give a list. He can go to home, but will require source oral corticosteroids. He can go home, but will need a course of antihistaminics. He may need any time a medical assistance if the symptoms return, and it can be dangerous. The last point which you are stressing that he should stay for observation. And remember, the patient is a young boy, 27-year-old, and he wants to go home. You have to give him the right advice. After the patient has been treated and he has been completely evaluated, what actions you will like to take? Give a drug reaction card, list of similar substances, inform the family caregiver, family doctor. Do not get early symptoms. Must sit or lie down immediately if feels breathless. If affording, explain about the injector use and its availability, adrenaline auto-injector. Option G is all above. That is question 12. Question 13 is last case. He is a 69-year-old male, type 2 diabetes, smoker, hypertensive, metformin, glycoside, ramipril, aspirin, and bisoprolol. That is a beta blocker. He has undergone an angiography. Post angio, 30 minutes, there is a sudden onset of tongue swelling, drooling of saliva, wheezing in the chest, flushing, itching, hypotension, and tachycardia. Now, out of this, you have to select the two most common causes: cardiogenic shock, hemorrhage from the femoral angiogram site, anaphylaxis secondary to medications which have been started recently, the radioactive dye. E is pulmonary edema. Anaphylaxis secondary to the drug which he is taking previously, like ramipril, aspirin, and he maybe have suffered from a posterior myocardial infarction, which is causing all these problems. Question last but one. In this situation, which is what should be administered first in this case? A, hydrocortisone, B, IV fluids, C, adrenaline, D, CPM, Avil, Phenergan, Valergan, E is high flow oxygen, F is low molecular weight heparin, G is thrombolytic therapy, and maybe pharmaco-invasive therapy in case he requires a stenting. The last question, the patient is asking for the new drugs. He is already on metformin, glyclazide, which we are continuing, but he has got these three drugs: ramipril, aspirin, and bisoprolol. The choice given is A, oxygen labetalol IV fluids, oxygen tinazepam and hydrocortisone. It is a low molecular weight heparin. Chlorpheniramine, prednisolone, and amlodipine. And last is chlorpheniramine, amlodipine, and adrenaline, that is injectable. The patient has recovered. He wants to avoid further type of things. This is just a sort of a trial which we have taken for the 15 questions. And at the end of this presentation, you have to rate this module in percentages, whether you like it, whether we scored 35% just pass, a second class up to 50, 60% first class, or we have got a 70% distinction, or we have got a gold medal. Okay, Arun, I just give you 1 or 2 minutes to comprehend. Just take a one list of the things. Now I am going to share my second screen with you. Can see the screen, Arun? You can see the screen. Everybody can see the screen. So friends, please mute those who are the participants. We have got a record 63 people, but please mute yourself, because the next discussion for about 30 minutes is very, very important. So let us see the finer nuances of anaphylaxis, a life-threatening emergency. If rewarded, if treated in time, using the right drug, right route, and the right dose. The last 11 months have been really very bad for all of us. I'm just pushing you an idea, and we need your inputs on our either WhatsApp or Facebook group. How to improvise our practice, how to retain our patients. What are the newer avenues of income and feeling better? What are the new skills which we are learning? Are we aggregating the data of our patient and finding out their needs? Are we managing our worried well patients who are worried about corona and its side effects? Are we practicing paid telemedicine? There may be a lot of tips. I can learn so many tricks from all of you, but I will just tell you only one trap, that don't give any certificate to anybody unless you have seen the patient, because lot of people want false certificates for theirs. So this is the point which I have left for all of you for the further discussion and input in our group. Now the first question was, this was the question, and the answer is yes, everything can cause it. And why I am taking this module for you, that after completing this module, we should know how to recognize and treat adults with anaphylaxis. What doses of medications are appropriate for treatment, which medications we should avoid in patient of anaphylaxis. It is an acute life-threatening event. Its incidence is increasing, but it is fully treatable if managed in time. This is a test of your competence as a doctor. It can make or break your career, practice, as well as name. So try to master this trick. This is very simple, hardly a matter of 30 minutes. These are the list of causes which can induce anaphylaxis. Allergens is IgE dependent immunological mechanism. In food, peanut, tree nuts, different type of shellfishes, milk and egg. Insect stings like the common madmashi, which leaves a simple sting in your body, insect bites. Our biggest problem is medications. The most important culprit is diclofenac. Then come all the antibiotics. Even drugs like tinidazole also can cause problem. Biological material, hot topic of this time, vaccines. Allergen, immunotherapy, chemotherapy agents and vaccines, natural rubber latex, condoms and gloves, food additives including spices, insect-derived colorants, and vegetable gums, and inhalants like horse dander, cat dander, grass pollen, and the friendly pigeons, which are making home in your balconies. They all can cause problem. Now, what are the diagnostic criteria for anaphylaxis? Any one of the following three criteria should be fulfilled. And please don't take down the notes or the screenshots. I am going to give you this presentation free to everybody. What is clinically most important is the acute onset, minutes to several hours, involvement of the skin, mucosal tissue, both in form of hives, pruritus, flushing, swollen lips, tongue, and uvula causing respiratory depression. Respiratory compromise, dyspnea, wheeze, bronchospasm, stridor, hypoxemia detected on pulse oximeter, reduced BP and associated symptoms of end organ dysfunction, hypotonia, collapse, syncope, or even urinary incontinence. Two or more of the following three things that can occur rapidly after exposure is to a likely allergen for the patient, minutes to several hours, involvement of the skin mucosal tissue, respiratory, reduced BP, persistent GI symptoms like crampy abdominal pain, vomiting. And what do you mean by reduced BP? The definition is less than 90/60 or less than 30% of the previous reading known. This is from up to date. I have saved you from reading 35 pages of the whole topic of anaphylaxis from up to date. The whole topic is available on request for everybody. Now let us cross this, because this is going to come at the end. Now, what it affects? You see, it affects practically every system. No more, it is 80%. The symptoms and signs involve skin, oral mucosa, respiratory, gastrointestinal, and cardiovascular. The patient may be having very vague symptoms. Urticaria you can see. Itching or tingling on lips, tongue, or palatal level is going on. This is called as a circumoral paresthesias. Then edema, nose will be itchy, congestion, rhinorrhea, sneezing, tightness in the throat, dysphonia, hoarseness, even leading to stridor. Arun, those people who join later on, you can block them. Lower airways, shortness of breath, dyspnea, chest tightness, wheezing, and even cyanosis. GI symptoms may be very atypical: nausea, abdominal pain, vomiting, as well as dysphagia. May be confused with breathlessness. In cardiovascular symptoms, feeling of faintness, dizziness, syncope, altered mental status. पेशंट कसा तरी करतोय, इंजेक्शन दिल्यानंतर हा माणूस मला बरा वाटत नाही किंवा माझा मुलगा ठीक वाटत नाही. If the mother complains like this, you have to believe her. Dysarrhythmias, hypotension, tunnel vision, difficulty in hearing, urinary or fecal incontinence, or very rarely the person can go into cardiac arrest. The second component is neurological. What are the neurological things? Presence of anxiety, apprehension, sense of impending doom. मला कसं तरी होतंय, as if this is my end. The patient, when the patient says that he is not well, that means he is not well. Convulsions, before that it will be preceded with headache and confusion. Young children may have sudden behavioral changes. They will cling, they will cry excessively, they will become irritable, or they will cease to play. In the ocular manifestation, periorbital itching, dry eye, erythema and edema, tearing, and conjunctival erythema. This perioral, circumoral tingling, numbness, I told you this we used to see so many times in case of streptomycin toxicity. In women, there can be uterine cramps. There are 3 more or less patterns of anaphylaxis. Almost 95% is uniphasic, one episode and out. Biphasic, around 4.5%. And there are protracted and fatal anaphylaxis, almost 0.5%. This is the reference which you can go for the details of the causes and the clinical immunological manifestation. Let us go to question 3. This is our patient with anaphylaxis, and out of this drug, the right answer is lisinopril. Now, what is the class effect of ACE? And they can control it with ARBs also, the commonest antihypertensive drugs. Incidence of angioedema is almost 0.1 to 0.7%. Reaction can start at any time and occur years after starting the drug. This is unusual. If it develops while taking ACE inhibitors, you should stop the drug. The frequency and severity of attack increases if the patient continue taking the drug. This is a class effect. So all the ACE inhibitors can cause the same problem. If somebody has got idiopathic angioedema, don't give it. This is mediated by bradykinin. Many times it is not associated with any skin manifestations, but involves lip, face, tongue, upper airway, genitals, and peripherals, and causes significant respiratory problem and respiratory decompensation. So please be careful. Ask every patient on ACE or ARB that whether he is having any symptoms like this. Now, this was our patient in question number 4. He has got multiple risk factors, but the most likely answer is chlorhexidine allergy, because it was just used, and as you go before, it has to be onset within the shortest possible time. ACE inhibitor he is taking for a long time. Egg chills, he has taken food 3 hours back. Aspirin is taking for a long time. So the answer is E, chlorhexidine allergy. Most likely cause of this reaction occurred immediately after inserted the catheter. Anesthetic gels also used for catheterization contain chlorhexidine. It is widely used to decontaminate skin and wide range of medical products and devices like mouthwash, wipes, and dressing, catheters. It is increasingly recognized as a cause of allergic reaction in medical and dental procedures. Latex is also a possible cause. The introduction of powder-free and low-protein gloves have reduced the rate of sensitization. And history of food ingestion is too long, 3 hours, to be contributed. and it is possible that he had a vasovagal reaction to the procedure, but vasovagal will not explain the facial and tongue edema more consistent with a allergic reaction. So there may be many causative factors in one case that we have to remember. Now, what is the dose of adrenaline we should give to the patient? The answer is A, 0.5 ml of intramuscular adrenaline. And Arun, audio is clear?
Yes, sir. Audio is clear, sir.
Things about adrenaline, all the things are, it is a wonder drug, and I will consider this is one of the best drugs, armamentarium, available in clinical medicine, because so many effects and very, very cheap. You can scan somebody, put what can be the cost of an adrenaline ampule in the chat box if they are using it. Adrenaline is a priority. You should give patients with anaphylaxis, respiratory difficulty due to laryngeal edema and asthma or hypotension, present as fainting, collapse, or loss of consciousness. What is the pharmacological basis? Alpha adrenergic stimulation increases peripheral vascular resistance, PVR, improves blood pressure, coronary perfusion, reverses peripheral vasodilation, decreases angioneurotic edema. Beta adrenergic stimulation produces positive inotropic and chronotropic cardiac effects, and beta 2 receptor stimulation causes bronchodilation, which is the culprit. You should not give subcut because the adrenaline is absorbed too slowly, and intravenous given is very dangerous unless you have got a facility of monitoring and the patient has not responded to the 2 dosages of adrenaline. Then you should think about it, and very rarely you require it in your family practice. All these points are very true. You have to remember, while injecting, needle should be longer, the needle should be bigger. You have to check the color, keep the second ampule ready, because if the color is pink or brown, that means the drug has expired. Outer middle thigh, vastus lateralis muscle is the site of choice. Subcutaneous tissue in the thigh in obese patients causes slower absorption and lower peak concentration, no effect. There is a clear-cut guideline from the Resuscitation Council of UK that this is the size of the needle we should use. Patients who become hypotensive should lie flat and, if possible, raise their leg to increase the venous return. What you should have in your clinic is a small stool as well as a yoga mattress, so that the patient can be put on that mattress and the leg should be raised. Don't place these patients suddenly into an upright position. It is potentially very, very dangerous. And this occurs either when one patient wants to vomit or a patient wants to go to the bathroom. And it can precipitate a cardiac arrest due to the contraction of the empty heart. This is also called as the empty heart syndrome, and one of the major cause of sudden cardiac deaths after anaphylaxis. Now you have given the patient and adrenaline, the patient is settling. These are the few tips for your clinical practice. Give the patient shock position, 8 to 12 inches up. Pregnant lady, left lateral position. Then standard CPR procedures, check the response. Are you all right? If unresponsive, call for help. Carotid pulse and breathing. If not, you have to start CPR. Maintain airway initially with either a oropharyngeal airway or nasopharyngeal airway or LMA, laryngeal mask airway. You may think that the patient may require angioedema, intubation in case of severe angioedema. Start with high flow oxygen. If bronchospasm, nebulization with salbutamol and budocort or Luvoline. Can also use adrenaline for nebulization. And bag mask ventilation if patient is not adequately breathing and not maintaining oxygen concentration above 90 on the breathing air. The last and very important point is you should have IV access with a large bore needle, scalp or gelco, fast fluid replacement almost to the tune of about 2 liters. Choice of fluid, normal saline or RL. In children, 20 ml per kg. Patient may need 2 to 3 or 4 liters of fluid, but at the same time, avoid over infusion, overload on the circulation, check the lung bases for crepitations. So these are the things, even the list looks to be very long. If you do as a team in your clinic, you can do the management of the patient in a very faster way. So don't forget to check the stocks. I want somebody to find out there is a big mistake in this. I have got a 19 number, 18 number needle. Then there is a 18 gauge needle. This is a long intramuscular needle. This is betamethasone. This is dexamethasone. This is Phenergan, and this is adrenaline. But if you look here very carefully, the price is very low, 17 rupees for adrenaline, but the expiry is less than 12 months, 10/9 to 9/9. So even if the medicine comes into market after 2 years, you have got hardly 9 to 10 months of the effective adrenaline that you should remember, and then you should check the things. If you talk about the pathogenesis, let us talk about these two brothers which are real deadly duos. Urticaria is characterized by the appearance of wheals and accompanied by angioedema. Can be caused by sensitivity to food, drug, antibiotics, NSAIDs, blood products, and radiocontrast agent. Also occur as a feature of viral infection or febrile illness. Many of the times it is cause is not affected, not identified. If you give antihistaminics and steroids, it will better the urticaria, but it will not affect the angioedema. It is a swelling caused by fluid leakage from blood vessels into surrounding skin and tissue. Lips, tongues, eyelids, genitals, hands, and feet are common sites. Eyelids, periorbital edema, the whole socket may be involved. There can be a non-allergic drug-induced angioedema, like with ACE inhibitor. Hereditary angioedema, it is really very rare, but it can be a big problem for management. And adrenaline is the drug of choice to handle angioedema. Our question 8 was when to give the second dose, except. The answer is you should not wait for 30 minutes. If the patient doesn't become all right within 5 minutes, you can repeat the second dose of adrenaline in the same way. Patient should use adrenaline either auto-injector. Tell the patient to look for the signs like respiratory difficulty, hypotension, blurred vision or lost vision, unsteadiness, floppiness, feeling that they are about going to faint. Do not ignore the symptoms. The patient and mother are the best judges because these things are happening to them. Don't hesitate in giving second dose if you are not happy clinically with the first dose. Now this patient on beta blocker, the answer is the normal dose. Why? There are references. These are the guidelines from Resuscitation Council. There is a large inter-individual variability in the response to adrenaline. It is important to monitor the response, start the safe dose, and give further dose in greater response is needed. The emphasis is on avoiding delay in adrenaline treatment. The biggest cause of death in anaphylaxis is giving adrenaline too low, too less at later time, and giving subcutaneous. It is better that should not give beta blockers to any patient you consider as a risk for anaphylaxis. And then you can, it includes even the drops containing, eye drops containing beta blockers. And a tip of excellent management is if the person is not improving, then glucagon can help the crisis for the patient. So this was our 10th question. This man had come. So the answer here is the patient should go out with prednisolone and oral chlorpheniramine because there is no point in giving any of the component of the drugs in the parenteral form. Same question about this 27-year-old man. He should stay for observation because majority of all our patient care, unless they are from doctor's family, you won't get all the things which are needed to monitor. So what are your steps after the storm is over? Patient who had anaphylactic reaction has to be initially observed in the ICU or clinic for 6 hours because the biphasic reaction. 1 to 20% occurrence. You give the patient antihistaminic, steroid, you observe the patient. If the patient feels well and if he is reviewed by another senior clinician and if he can come to the hospital when the symptoms return, you can discharge the patient. But it is better that maximum biphasics occur within 8 to rarely up to 48 hours. Keep the patient at least 8 hours in the hospital. That is our answer to question number 11 and 12. Most important is communication. Tell the patient that he is allergic to drugs, give the information, give him a card. There can be a bracelet which can be there to explain the drug allergies. And the patient who has got one episode of drug allergy, he is so scared that he will think 10 times taking the same drug again. So it is the part which is related not only to the doctor, patient, family member, caregiver, and the emergency about the drug allergy should be mentioned even in the electronic health record, or there are apps like in case of emergency ICE, where it will show very clearly that the patient is allergic to diclofenac or penicillin or tinidazole. And this app is so nice that it will work even when the patient's phone is locked. Many of these phone makers have got now the health app built in, which doesn't require the password of the phone. So this was our question number 13, a patient who has developed anaphylaxis after IV dye, which is used for angiography. He is a very high risk person because he is diabetic, he is on ACE inhibitors, he is on aspirin, he is on beta blockers. Out of all these things, the answer E is right, anaphylaxis secondary to the contrast agents which is caused. The drug which should be administered in this case is none other than the king of anaphylaxis. It's always adrenaline, irrespective of the patient's cardiac status. It is not going to cause any problem, and the patient is in hospital so that we can all manage the patient's clean cardiac conditions better, but you have to take off if it is anaphylactic state. Now the patient wants to go home. He tells you that check my old drugs, suggest me the new list. Metformin glycolizide is continued. Ramipril, aspirin, and bisoprolol are replaced with CPM for the biphasic reaction, amlodipine, CPM, amlodipine as an antihypertensive agent, safest as far as anaphylaxis is concerned, and short course of prednisolone. So in question number 15, the answer is C. Friends, this was just a overview for all of us to know how we can manage a case of anaphylaxis. There are some drugs which potentially interact with adrenaline, beta blockers we talked about, but can lead to unopposed alpha receptor stimulation, can cause bronchoconstriction, hypertension. Please ask the drug history. Tricyclic antidepressants may theoretically increase the effect of adrenaline and hypertension, arrhythmia. There are a lot of people who are suffering from depression, and tryptoma, levotrip, and all the things are going on for years together. They don't think that it is necessary for them to tell to the doctor. Same thing is monoamine oxidase inhibitors. Alcoholics fare bad in the outcome of anaphylaxis management, and a biphasic anaphylaxis reaction may occur in up to almost 20% of the cases. So you have to be very careful. The time which I told was up to 8 hours. Maximum cases occur 15%, the rest of the 5% occur in the next 48 hours. So at least be in touch with the patient, talk to him on telephone, make a video call, see his lips and his breathing pattern so that you are completely manage that patient. So friends, cross-check your drugs regularly. Injection adrenaline, 1 ml ampule, expiry date 1 year or less, 17 rupees cost. Phenergan, which is promethazine, 25 milligram per ml, 2 ml ampule. If you want to give IV, give very slow. It has got an expiry date of more than up to 3 years. Avil, the tricky drug, because many of the patients tell that it is very painful and causes bad thrombophlebitis. Same about chlorpheniramine maleate. These are the three which are available, and what all the literature tells about diphenhydramine, that injection is not available with us. It is Benadryl syrup format. There is a wonderful drug called as a Lorphast Meltab, which can reduce the symptoms of urticaria within seconds. You can give H2 blockers. Ranitidine is 25 milligram per ml. You give 2 ml IV slow. The average dose is 1 milligram per kg. There is a dispersible tablet also available of ranitidine. And in steroids, my drug of choice is hydrocortisone because it will act fast. Next comes methylprednisolone, Decadron, and betamethasone. They take more times to act. So hydrocortisone is a drug of choice. Only problem with hydrocortisone that you have to prepare it, and that loses very important time. This is one which you are supposed to check at your next in your list. There are certain people who may ask you that are there any blood tests which are required. So CBC may show eosinophilia, IgE may be rest. Actually, serum tryptase is the sine qua non of anaphylaxis, but it rises its peak within 2 to 4 hours and settles down. If the serum tryptase is high, it's a costly test. It is a costly test. Complement 4 and C1 inhibitor levels. It has got no prognostic diagnostic value. There are multiple allergy panels available with different pathologies. You have to decide it in a very individual way. So friends, this is my last but one slide. In your leisure time, go to the questions which we have asked, just study them. There are some resource materials. Rate this module. So I stop here for just for everybody to see that you have got the whole cricket team of anti-anaphylactic drugs, including an oxygen cylinder, a mat, and a small stool in your clinic, and you have trained everybody how to handle. So somebody has got only to prepare adrenaline, somebody has got job only to prepare efcorline, the third person manages only IV. So it is a team effect, or you can call any of your friend and tell him that you are supposed to look only after IV. In anaphylactic, patients are sweating badly. So when there are too many hairs, it may not be possible for you to put a scalp or gel coat. So you may have to have small razor, and please take elastoplast to fix up the things, because of the sweating, the routinely used elastic adhesives, they don't stick on the patient's vein, and the thing goes out, and it is a very bad scenario everywhere, the blood leaking out. So please check your cricket team which manages anaphylaxis, and you should not face it in any time in your life, but if you face, I'm sure you are going to manage it very effectively and very confidently. So this is about the today's presentation of my side. I'm just going to end with what we should do in the 123rd CME 1, 2, 3. Take one common topic, symptom, take clinical settings. What are the reactions of patient, caregiver, and family physician's reaction? Take the practical difficulties you encounter and the way in which you want to give best to the patient. I stop with this, and we look at the question box. There are many chats which are there. We have crossed a record figure of 88, and I don't know how many people are watching on YouTube. Arun, now if anybody has raised hands, they can ask questions, or you can put your comments in your chat box. I'll just check at the chat box.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Please go ahead.
So what if the person is allergic to adrenaline or allergic to hydrocortisone? In such cases, what you do?
Oh, no. See, these are very, 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 very hypothetical things. I don't think that if the person develops, if he will not develop allergy to the drug, it will be the solvents which are used into that. And in such situation, when you have got a question of whether you are going to make the patient's life survival, the life is more important than the minor allergies. And I have seen there are a lot of people who misinterpret their allergy symptoms. And at least I know almost thousands of anesthetics and intensive care people, they have not encountered even a single case of adrenaline allergy or coralline allergy.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask a question, please?
Please.
Hello, this is regarding my wife only. She is suffering from the sinus tachycardia.
Okay.
And so I had to give the beta blocker, which controls her pulse. If I doesn't give beta blocker, it may go to 130, 140. So at present, she is on 50 milligrams of beta blocker. Her pulse is around normal, less than 100. So question, and second thing, she has got allergy to the dust. Whenever she gets dust, she gets a lot of sneezing. And I had to use this inhaler, the steroid inhaler for that. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, I have got an answer for your question. There is a drug called as ivabradine, which is sustained release, long time, and it will not have any problems. And let us, because we are already crossed our 55th minute also, and if it is a totally personalized case, then I will like to deal with you individually. You have to send me all the papers on WhatsApp or email, and then definitely I will give a very good answer to this. So
sir, I just want to ask, adrenaline, the ampule we get, we directly inject that?
Sorry?
The adrenaline ampule we purchase from market,
Yes.
we have to give it directly, 0.5
Yes.
ml IM.
Direct, no dilution required.
Okay.
No
And
dilution.
secondly, hydrocortisone, you said we have to prepare, it takes time to prepare.
Yes, you have to prepare 5 ml into that powder, and this gives you 100 milligram. You better, for an adult, it is always better to give around 200 milligram.
Excuse me, adrenaline is to be given slowly or we have to inject?
Efcorlin, you can give bolus fast.
Adrenaline, sir.
It is, sir. It is no question of slow or fast. You have to give it fast only, because that is the thing which is needed for the body. There is nothing like slow adrenaline.
It causes tachycardia. A lot of tachycardia it causes.
Yes, lot of tachycardia. Just push it. See, there is a resistance not from the patient side or the relative side. There is a resistance and there is inhibition from the doctor's side, because we are afraid of giving drug like adrenaline. But in anaphylaxis, if you want to save the patient and if you want to save yourself, there is nothing but adrenaline with which you have to be familiar, and then you can manage the patient's tachycardia, hypertension later on, but just relieve him of his life threatening conditions.
Okay.
So you were speaking of
loratadine. Hydrocortisone, which is the next fastest steroid, sir? After hydrocortisone, which is the fastest steroid?
Only one person at one time. Or better, you put the questions in the chat box.
So can I ask?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So you were talking about loratadine as an excellent drug to take care of angioedema.
Yes.
So along with adrenaline also it can be given because it is tablet.
Yes, it can be given. Loratadine is a sublingual tablet. It is just for first aid. It is not the drug of choice. The drug of choice will be after adrenaline, antihistaminics, and steroids. Loratadine helps for the cutaneous symptoms.
Okay.
So then after hydrocortisone, which is the next fastest acting steroid?
Prednisolone, oral prednisolone.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And if you want to give it in acute stage, and if you are not happy, then you have to give 125 milligram of methylprednisolone in 100 ml of normal saline over a period of about 1 or 2 hours.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Whatever are the questions, you can put it in the chat box, I am going to share both the presentation and the references which I have got, and you please start a teamwork with your staff and tell them that these are the actions which are needed in case of any emergency problem or any emergency occurs. Because it is not going to come to you by sending a WhatsApp message or a phone call. You have to be ready and you have to listen to the patient. Don't ignore the patient. And another suggestion I will like to give to the family physicians is, do not give drugs which are likely to cause anaphylaxis like diclofenac. You can use something simpler ones. And always ask the patient that, are you allergic to any drug? And please make a board in your clinic that anything under the sun and over the earth, including both of them, can cause allergy. If you do not mention it to me, I will not know, and I will not be in a position to give that medicine which is causing problems. So always ask that. This should be part of your, after name, age, sex, mobile number, email. Are you allergic to any drugs?
Sir, can you share your mobile number?
Sorry?
Can you share your mobile number?
So there are a lot of people who are family talks are going on. So please control your family talks, madam.
Can you share your mobile number?
Yes, it's there in the chat box, and you can be in touch with Dr. Arun Kure. He is our Arun, Meenakshi, Vandana. Email is very simple. svk1955@readifmail.com. Please send text your emails so that we can send you the presentations. So Arun, now it is exactly 1 hour on YouTube. If there are no more questions,
sir,
can we stop here so that we have stayed within our time frame? Or you want to continue for some time? There are 3 chat questions.
Sir, I think you have answered all the questions. You have answered more than 15 questions.
Dr. Lalita Kedia has asked one question. What about anaphylaxis due to the excipients and not the main ingredients? It is, how can be aware of it is and prevent anaphylaxis? And again, a very hypothetical question. And we should use adrenaline for anaphylaxis, whether the person has got a ingredient allergy or not. So please, if there are no questions, there is somebody else knocking for the next webinar for me.
can I ask a question, sir? Hello.
Arun.
Hello, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please go on.
Sir, can we give adrenaline intracardiac? Is it possible?
Sorry?
Can we give adrenaline intracardiac in emergency?
Jayanti Bhai, I'm not very clear. What is your?
Adrenaline intracardiac.
No. Adrenaline intracardiac was used for cardiac arrest, and that is different. That is so that the protocols now are changed so much. I think an intensivist or a cardiologist will be in a better position to explain it. In family practice level, we should never attempt intracardiac adrenaline. One ampule you can give with it, but you have to have that such a long spinal needle, 6 inches needle. Nobody has got it. So Arun, can we call it a day? Yes. I stop recording, but the meeting goes on so that you can copy paste all the mails which we have received. Okay, thank you very much for all your cooperation and attending the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very good lecture. Very good lecture.
About weakness as one of the presenting cause and symptom in clinical medicine. And please interact with everybody. Please share your experiences. It is the combined wisdom which is going to be useful for all of us. And The last point which I will like to emphasize with the help of all my NMDF doctors, that we have not been paid by anybody. There is no company, there is no hospital, there is no equipment manufacturer who is making us to take so many academic educational activities. So thank you NMDF for providing this facility, and we will be meeting as early as possible depending upon the enthusiasm of the participants. So I'm stopping the live stream now. You can continue with the database